Threat hunting means looking for signs of compromise using logs, network traffic, and endpoints before alerts go off. It's about being curious instead of waiting. I'll touch quickly on a free tool called Security Onion to show how this works in action. Then we'll get into how threat hunters think, what to look for, where to look, and how to trust your instincts. Alright, let's jump into the first security tool, Security Onion. For this demo, I used the Pro version and turned on an evaluation license. That let me get everything up and running quickly without having to wire things together manually. It's a great way to spin up a lab if you want to learn, or show leadership what a full Security Onion setup can look like. Now, if you go with the open source version, you'll just need to be ready for a little more setup. To run the Pro evaluation, you'll need 4 CPU cores, 8 gigs of RAM, 100 gigs of disk space, and a second NIC. The install takes some time because it configures STIGs automatically, but once it's done, you'll land on the Security Onion dashboard over HTTPS. One thing to call out about the interface. Security Onion is where you go to look at alerts, start your hunting, manage cases, and pull PCAPs. It's built for analyst workflows. Kibana gives you easier access to the raw data underneath if you want to search logs more directly or build custom queries. Think of Security Onion as your launchpad, and Kibana is the tool to reach for when you want to go deeper. Now, let's jump into the interface. Alerts pull in data from Suricata and Zeek, both really powerful tools, especially when they're tuned and maintained properly. In the alerts view, you'll see recent events. These might be suspicious, or they might just be noisy. Your job is to dig in and figure that out. You can slice and dice the alerts by different criteria, like rule name, severity, source and destination IPs, or by sensor, which helps when you're trying to spot patterns or outliers. And dashboards, yes, it sounds obvious, are where you can look at dashboards, but they're genuinely helpful for getting a feel for traffic volume, protocol usage, and activity types over time. It's like a bird's eye view of what's happening on your network. For example, let's say there's 50,000 network events, 4,000 IAM related events, a few hundred sessions and process logs, and a handful of file events. This tells me most of the activity is network-centric, probably normal, but the IAM events might deserve attention, especially if they spike unexpectedly. This kind of view helps you build a sense of normal so you can spot the weirder stuff faster. Hunt is where I go when I want to dig into specific things, like files that were seen, or to pivot off NIDS alerts. It's also one of the places where I can create a case right from an event that looks interesting. Detections. Detections are great for visibility into what rules have actually fired, but it also helps you see which detection engines are triggering, like Sigma, Suricata, or Sysmon. It tracks frequency and trends over time, spot rule tuning opportunities, and validate whether your detection coverage is working as expected. And lastly, for this interface are PCAPs, which can be captured directly or uploaded manually through the operating system. If you've never used Suricata or Zeek on their own, you might not realize how cool this is. You have an Elk Stack, Zeek, Suricata, and a full suite of analytical tools, all integrated into one UI. It's a big deal. Suricata and Zeek both analyze network traffic, looking for suspicious behavior. When one of their rules gets triggered, Security Onion ingests that data and gives you multiple ways to dig into it, from an alert level to full packet inspection. Now, why is this awesome? Think about it. Firewalls mostly monitor edges, your network boundaries. But with a span port or a PCAP from almost any switch, you can use Security Onion to look inside your network. You can hunt, you can spot strange behavior, you can catch threats before they turn into real-world problems. That's proactive visibility, a total game changer when done well. Before we jump into the second tool, I want to provide a few quick and important reminders. Be mindful of where you tap traffic. Accidentally capturing classified or sensitive data can land you in trouble. Assuming you do have permission, you'll probably still need help from the network team. This is a great opportunity to build a working relationship with them. They might not want you poking around their switches directly, which is fair, but I'd be surprised if they're not willing to at least give you a PCAP. In a lot of cases, they can set you up with a tap or configure a trunk port to give you access to the VLAN or traffic you're interested in. Just have the conversation with them. And if they're good with it, and you don't have a dedicated server nearby, a reasonably powerful laptop works just fine for capturing a few hours of traffic per month. You can grab a PCAP with Wireshark or send it straight to Security Onion. Now, let's move on to the second and final tool in this lightweight threat hunting setup, DeepBlue CLI from SANS. It's a free and powerful tool designed to help analyze Windows event logs, specifically EVTX files. It scans through the logs and flags activity that could be suspicious or worth a closer look. Things like unusual logon behavior, PowerShell abuse, and other signs of potential compromise. It's simple to get started. Just download it and point it at a log file. You'll quickly get back a summary of findings that can guide deeper investigation. The main challenge comes when you want to scale it. Automating runs or using it remotely takes a bit more work. But for one-off hunting sessions or lab use, it's fast, focused, and super helpful. Now you could manually dig through the logs yourself, but DeepBlue CLI saves you a ton of time and does the heavy work for you. When you have permission, some of the best places to run this tool are on domain controllers, file servers, or any system used by administrators or privileged users. These are high-value targets. If they're compromised, the attacker has a huge advantage, or full control of the environment. To run DeepBlue CLI, I'll just point it to the live security log using this simple command. And done. You're seeing alerts, suspicious patterns, and interesting events. Now, on its own, some of this may look subtle, but if you know there shouldn't be a new local admin on that box, or you see a weird scheduled task, this tool just helped you catch something early. DeepBlue has saved me a ton of time and pointed out things I would have missed. To make the results even easier to work with, let's pipe it out to a text file that can be copied back to my laptop through an RDP session. Now to think like a threat hunter. Let's look at some examples. If you're new to this, don't worry. These aren't rules or requirements, they're just ideas to get your brain moving. Each row gives you a basic hypothesis. What kind of behavior might show up if that were true, and where in your logs you might go looking. It's not a checklist. It's not complete. These are just jumping off points. For example, under Initial Access, we ask whether phishing emails might have led to a macro executing PowerShell. That's just one idea. If it were true, you'd expect to see Microsoft Word launching PowerShell, and you'd go looking for that in the logs. The other rows follow the same style, from execution using built-in tools, to persistence with scheduled tasks, to exfiltration through outbound traffic. But the most important thing here is that you need to go on your own hunt. This means building your own questions, shaping your own rules, and deciding what's worth looking into. This table doesn't tell you what to do, it just helps get your creativity going. Because real skill in threat hunting isn't just knowing what to search for, it's knowing what to ask. And hey, join me back here in a couple of weeks for a solid peek into PKI. We're going to break it down in a way that actually makes sense and shows how it works in the real world. No fluff, just the good stuff.